what are we talking about today?
Sure, we're going to talk about something interesting on your policy. You have on your declarations page what's called your personal items, which are covered,
Hmm.
but sometimes you have some personal items that are a lot more expensive that you don't really disclose to the insurance company, and you
Right.
should. People
So,
think that, hey, I might have 300,000. This is going to cover a $150,000 picture that I own. Usually, it's not that case. You actually those
right.
specific items, you actually have to disclose those to the insurance company to make sure that if something does happen to them, they can get paid for it, basically.
Like your refrigerator, personal items, personal property, right? The other thing too is there's a lot of things that need to be on their own schedule, and that's what Chris is talking about. Jewelry being one of those things is if you have items, and it's usually like more expensive items, like Chris was talking about, if you have a painting, something like that. If it's a very expensive item, it just in my mind, the threshold that I use that isn't exactly it, but at least will get you thinking about it is like if it's $1,000 or more, you should probably check with your insurance agent or have them tell you exactly, hey, even if it's less than $1,000, it has to be on its own schedule because of this part in the policy, and then they can tell you that. But jewelry is one of those things that I know, expensive watches, rings, whatever it might be, paintings like Chris was talking about. Sometimes um, it can be stuff that you use as a hobby. And I know someone very specifically that had a property, a cabin up in the mountains, and they lost a lot of things in that fire that occurred there about 3 years ago. And none of it was on a schedule. So none of it was actually reimbursed or repaired or replaced. And I would say that probably cost this insured that I know probably between $30,000 and $40,000. If you make a claim and you're not scheduled on these certain specific things, does your blanket policy cover you? And sometimes it does, sometimes it
Mhm.
doesn't. So, Chris, I'll give you the final word before we wrap up and say our jingle.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we're here to protect you. And so obviously, when you
Right.
file a claim, we're here to help, everything like that. But we just want to keep educating all of our followers and listeners that these are important things that might not seem like they're that important, but when you file a claim or something happens, where you actually do, it's brought up in your face and you're like, whoa, now I got to deal with this.
Right.
That's when things get a little crazy. So we're
And
all just
that's
about
too
here.
late. That's the other thing too that
Yes.
we want you to understand. That's why we're trying to teach you now and educate you now, as well as
Mhm.
contractors or property managers or anybody else that's watching this. If we can
Mhm.
help you now avoid that catastrophic surprise in your face and you're like, what?
Mhm.
That's kind of what we're trying to do.